This little guy joined our family this weekend, and I'm thinking if Harry Potter's owl was named Hedwig, then this little guy's got to be the Angry Inch. What? You don't like it? Oh, it was funny. Come on. I had a meeting today with an editing client, and we were talking about how to go through the track changes, how it all works. Sometimes people have trouble figuring out what to do with the edit once they get it back. And one of the things that this client said to me that was really interesting to me is that the very first sentence of the story, the way the writer had written it, it said, "After this happened, Joe began his quest." And I changed it around to say, "Joe began his quest after this happened." Those aren't the exact words because I don't want to breach confidentiality with the author, but the author said to me, "I have had many other editors look at this, and you are the only one who has turned the sentence around, and I felt like it has made such a difference." Figuring out how to work with an editor is part of the job of a writer who's working with an editor. And something like that, right? Sometimes it just gets stuck in your mind a certain way and you feel like it's clunky, you feel like it's not working, but you can't think how to do it. A good editor kind of comes in with a fresh perspective. They're not looking at it over and over again. They're looking at it, as a new reader, and sometimes they can come up with things. Part of my editing philosophy is your words are way better than mine. So I very, very seldom add anything to anybody's book. And I very, very seldom slash and burn. That's not my thing. I don't do that. You put those words there for a reason. They're important to you. They have meaning to you. And sometimes they feel clunky only because maybe they're not in the right order. So sometimes I might reverse them. I am always thinking about what you've already put there, the effort, the thought, how you want it to be understood by the reader. And then I'm trying to make it a little bit more palatable for the reader or smooth lumps out, stuff like that. But I am not trying to take over the book or rewrite it. No, I'm seriously, I'm not. Anyway, so, learning how to work with your editor and learning what your editor should and shouldn't be doing is an important step. If you get and you should always get a sample edit, it should be free, it shouldn't cost you a dime. If you get a sample edit back from an editor and you feel like they've slashed and burned your old growth forest, yeah, we don't want that to happen. The answer is no. If an editor makes you feel like a dope, they are not the person to work with. And I know that a lot of times I don't have confidence, and so somebody coming along and looking at my work and telling me like, "Oh, you've got this wrong, I might be open to that. I might be willing to hear that. I might be like, "You're right, I probably suck at this." But you don't suck at it. You know what you're doing. You know the story that you want to tell. And an editor should not make you feel like a dope. But if they can take your words that you already have there and help you juice them up a little bit, make them run a little more smoothly, that's a great thing. And by the way, because I know I've probably fooled you all, this owl is a puppet. Yes, you are. You're a puppet. Because I just found out, heartbreaking news, it's illegal to own an owl as a pet. And apparently they're not very good pets. They bite, they scratch. They're not very nice. But your editor should not bite or scratch you. If you ever want a sample edit, hit me up, Diane@currentwords.com. Diane with a double N, because my grandmother did not know how to spell it, and that's how I got the double N. Stories are everywhere in our lives. Have a good one. I'm going to take the Angry Inch and go heat up dinner for my daughter. Bye.